All of the NBA's success has definitely led to a lot of hype in the city of Evansville. Can the Aces rebound from a rough trip up north to Iowa? It is time to go here from the Ford Center. Evansville will have the basketball first. Looking at the starting lineups, you see for the Aces, Feehan, Hill, Riley, Hall, and Kuhlman, who is a very good player here at the Ford Center. A different player than he is on the road. He's going to take the first shot. Can't get that one to go, though. And a look at the Bradley starting five. Lundy, Brown, Lautier-Ogunleye, Childs, and Van Bray. The Braves have been struggling on the offensive end. They'd like a good start to this road contest with their first possession. And it is a good start from beyond the arc line. That is Ogunleye with the triple, and Bradley strikes first.
Big shot for him. He's only a 33% shooter, so for him to make his first shot is big for him to get his confidence going.
Evansville back to work now on offense. It's Riley, a real difference maker for this club with the ball. Now the shot comes from Hill. Marty Hill with the basket. Quickly down, the Braves try to catch Evansville napping, but they got a good job getting back. How about the keys to the game, Marcus?
Well, starting off with the Bradley Braves, they got to have no second chances. They give up 10 offensive rebounds a game, so they really want to stop Evansville on the first attempt to not give up extra points. Also, third-party scoring. We know that Brown and Childs are their two main scorers.
Feehan for three, and he was fouled.
Big four-point play right there for Feehan. But getting back to the keys of the game, we know who the two main focal points are. Who's going to be the third-party scorer to step up? For UE, start it up. Start it strong. They usually rely on a lot of their home court energy. The cold stop people from coming out tonight. They really need to create their own energy and get off to a good start. And lastly, transition defense, making a transition. If they get out and they can get some baskets in transition, it creates their energy. They can get their shots up. And they also got to stop Bradley in transition because they struggle in the half-court offensive set.
Braves with it after the four-point play by Feehan. Both teams knocking in three balls here in the first 2 minutes of play. Shot clock at 10. And leaving it short that time for the Braves was Childs. Evan Kuhlman to the basket. Missed it off the glass. Hall there for the rebound put back. John Hall tops in the valley in rebounds at 8.3 per game. Gets the rebound and stick back there.
John Hall's really impressive. He scores. Like you said, he's leading the league in rebounding, so he's a double-double machine. He can really do things on and off the ball for the Aces.
Another three for the Braves. This one rattles out. And Evansville goes back to work quickly trying to score in transition all the way inside. It was deflected on the way up. And Hill can't catch in. And that one will drop for Childs at the basket for Bradley. Braves within one.
That's what we talk about, stopping them in transition. They struggle in their half-court set, so if Evansville can stop that and they can get their defense set up, the Braves really struggle to score. So they got to stop opportunities like that.
And that three is offline, off the front of the rim from the redshirt sophomore, John Hall. Inside take, counted, and the foul for Ogunleye there with the basket. D-Lo, they call him, with a finish at the basket. Foul on the Aces. And Ogunleye will be at the line for the and one. Marty Hill, the guilty party on the foul there for Evansville. And I could have told you that was going in before it went up. D-Lo 8th in the country in free throw percentage at 85.3% coming in. And with that three-point play, Bradley claims the lead. Kuhlman, shot fake and a drive, right to the basket. That's goaltending. They'll count it for Kuhlman.
I like to see that out of Kuhlman. He's really known as a shooter, But for him to put the ball on the basket and create his own shot, get into the basket, that's going to throw off the scouting report for the Braves. And then they need to respect his drive, and he'll be able to knock down that three at a much higher clip.
Nate Cannell out of Metamora, Illinois, checking into the lineup for the Braves. Bradley back to work in a tie ball game, 10 apiece. Here's Brown, leading scorer of this ball club. Had a rough outing against Missouri State, had just 1 point. Got to get him more involved in the offense. Evansville now with the basketball. Hall, inside pass. What a feed to Kuhlman for the finish.
It's a good start for the Aces. When you get Kuhlman rolling, you know that KJ Riley can produce. You know what John Hall can do, and Marty Hill can create his own. When you get Kuhlman rolling like this, they become a much more dangerous team.
A take inside, getting to the basket, putting up the shot. No good, no foul either. Brown missed it. Here comes Riley the other way. Kuhlman's got the hot hand. That one's no good.
Coach McCarty likes that shot. You know, if you're open in transition and you're in rhythm, he wants you to put that up because he wants to get up and down more like they have been doing this year. So that's a good shot by Kuhlman.
Brown inside out. That three won't go for Von Bragg. Here's Feehan for the Aces, the grad transfer student. And now it's out to Hall. Aces will set the play with 17 on the shot clock. And Riley was bumped on his way to catch that pass. The foul is on the Braves. And that will send us to our first stop in the action. Competitive so far. Evansville, your leader by
game, as opposed to actually being on the bench. And I talked to Coach Licklider really quick because he substituted for Coach McCarty, and he said that he's just glad to be back on the bench and not having to be the head coach. So you got two very happy coaches on the bench. Guys?
All right, thanks, Joe. Evansville inbounds the ball. It goes off the knee of Kuhlman and out of bounds. But, partner, you got to know that being a player of this game yourself, you want to be out there, and the same is true for coaches just as much as players.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Coach McCarty learned his lesson from last game, but he's passionate. He's passionate. He's instilled the passion into this team, this excitement into the city, and so he just let that overflow a little bit in the last game. But it's always hard to watch your team that you invest all that time with and struggle out there without you being able to help.
Lukman Lundy with the basket for Bradley, capitalizing off an Evansville turnover to tie it at 12. Feehan works out top for the Aces. Now it's Riley. A lot of non-moving players not moving around out there for Evansville. Kuhlman fires up another three ball, no good. But Newton gets the offensive rebound.
And I think both teams are happy with their start right now. Got 12 points in the first 5 to 6 minutes, on pace to score over 40 in the first half. And for teams that have been struggling a little bit, that's always good when you get your first shot falling.
Kuhlman, a little off balance. Leaner couldn't get it, then had it stripped as he went in for the offensive rebound. And Evan Kuhlman's got 4 points, but he's also 2 of 7 from the field, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc line. Danius Hetkavicius checks into the Purple Aces lineup. Kuhlman checks out.
You know what I like about that is if he's struggling, he got 7 shots up in 6 minutes. What that tells me is the coaches and his teammates still believe in him, right? They're not telling him, oh, stop shooting the ball. They're giving him the ball, giving him opportunities to get himself rolling.
And Evansville spends a timeout to avoid the 5 count and the turnover. Just a 30-second timeout charged to the Aces. So you talk about the
Brown involved in the offense. You see they've been making a conscious effort to get the ball into Childs. Brown eventually will start to get more shots. He's their leading scorer. He's really tough to stop. Although he's on the bench right now, he's going to have a big factor in this game. He's going to be a big factor in this game.
Looking at the series, Bradley has won 3 of the last 4 meetings, but the home team has won 75% of the matchups. Right at 74% in the series. Evansville with the ball out of the timeout.
Looks like the Braves are playing zone out of bounce set.
Switching it up a bit. Feehan, a bomb for 3. No doubt the grad transfer can shoot the basketball.
And here the Aces come back in response in their zone set. So both coaches here are trying to keep the other team off balance because they both got off to quicker offensive starts than probably each other coach wanted the other team to do.
It's a chess match, isn't it? all the way, either way. And that's an offensive foul.
The foul on the Braves, number 23, DWAYNE LAUTIER-OGUNLEYE. His first personal, the team's third.
Foul on D'Lo. Ogunleye with the foul. Evansville with the basketball and a 3-point lead. Here's Feehan. First look for Hatkavichus at the basket. Cannot get it. Good defense by the Braves. They're one of the top defensive teams in the Valley. At the basket. Now the shot put up there, no good from Childs. Riley stops at the foul line. Now Feehan going to try the big man again. Hatkavichus goes up and gets the bounce. Over bar that time. Hatkavichus scores.
Good move right there by Hatkavichus. Really took his time right there. Sometimes he rushes it when he gets down low. He really took his time right there. Got the shot he wanted. Great move by the big fella.
Lundy now with it. Childs from the foul line. Cannot buy it. And Jawan Newton, the freshman out of El Paso, Texas, brings it down into the paint. That's a double dribble on Riley. Kind of mishandled it, picked it up, then put it back down again, and a turnover by the Purple Aces.
For the Purple Aces, number 1, Marty Hill, and number 5, Shamar Gibbons.
That's just the first turnover by Evansville in the contest. Purple Aces by 5, Braves with the basketball. Underneath the basket, Cannell comes back out with a pass. Von Bray now on the corner. Cannell for 3, won't go. Another offensive rebound for Bradley. Then it's taken away by the Aces. Noah Frederiking took the ball away. Now we'll try a 3. He was headed down the court before that thing went through the net. He knew it was going in.
That looked good when it left his hands. Noah shoots much better at home than he does on the road. Another matchup that I'm really interested in is Givens here versus Brown. Two tough guys. They're a little undersized, but they have a lot of heart. They're going to go at each other here.
Here comes that inside matchup. Turnaround. Shot is good by Barr inside. Over Hatkavichus. The two big bodies squaring off in the paint. Here's Frederiking. A spark for the Aces. Step back, tough shot. Cannot get the bounce. Good Marty Hill. Quick transition attack. The shot is up. And free throws will come on the other side of this timeout. Evansville on top of Bradley. First half action here from the Ford Center. 20-14 Aces. Noah
buckets. He's gotten off to a good start for the Braves.
The previous foul on the Aces.
To the line after that contact at the basket is Ogunleye. He'll be there for 2. The foul called on the Aces on Marty Hill. The free throw, no good. Ogunleye has another one. The 73% free throw shooter gets 1 of 2. Trims the Evansville lead to 5 as we approach 10 minutes to go here in this first half. We'll trap in the backcourt. And Hill escapes. And he'll flip to Shamar Givens. Hill now Newton from the top 9 to shoot. Newton on a return feed. Missed that one. And Bradley on the attack. Evansville able to get back this time. Cannell back to Brown. Still in search of his first points, and there they are. Darrell Brown, the junior out of Memphis, Tennessee, the leading scorer for the Braves, gets on the books with that basket. Now Evansville back to work. Frederiking. Had that big three a moment ago. Now Givens for three.
Big shot there by Givens. He had a really good game last game. Had 10 points. Best game since their game against Wyoming. You know, the Aces are knocking down about 10. The last few games, I think they've had 10 threes in 3 out of their last 4 games. So the Braves are going to have to make sure they get out. Everyone's a threat for the Aces, especially with the lineup that they have out there. They have 4 guards, so they're going to try to stretch out that defense.
Good spacing by Bradley leads to that 3 ball from Cannell. The Metamora product knocks in the triple there, and good ball movement, good spacing. And the 3 drops for Bradley to answer.
I like what Bradley's doing right here. You don't know if they're getting back in the man, if they're doing the 3-quarter court press, or if they're going to the zone. And what it's making the Aces do is they're not really getting into their offense early on.
Jawan Newton got around the defense that time and laid it in. But Bradley is mixing it up on the defensive end. Again, one of the best defensive teams in the MVC. They lead the league in opponents' field goal percentage at 41.9%. They can also score. Basket there for the Braves by Childs. Now Noah Fredricking and Givens play pitch and catch out top. The Bradley defense is kind of slowing Evansville's pace a little bit.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't know what they're doing. On the offensive end, you have to stop and assess, and while you do that and then set up your offense, it takes you a while to get into the set. Now, that's what happens. Now at the end of the shot clock, you try to create on your own, not get the shot that you want.
Tip follow won't go. Now it's stripped. Aces have it. Shaken up on the other end of the court for Evansville. Still not sure he's all right is Newton. Hanging out on the side court.
See, this is exactly what I mean. They made their first pass, get into the offense now with 16 seconds to go on the shot clock. You're really going to start looking to go one-on-one at about 7. So they're only giving themselves about 9 seconds to really run their offense.
Here's Givens going to have to try to create with 3 to shoot. It'll be Newton for 3. Got it! And sometimes it works out.
Well, I think Coach McCarty would tell you that's not the shot that he wants, and if the Braves can make them make shots like that throughout the game, then the advantage definitely goes to them.
Good point. Newton now with 5 points on a 2-for-3 night from the field, including that 3 ball. Bradley looking to answer. They go inside. That won't go for Childs. And the Aces not able to get a quick strike. Here's Hatkavicius. He's fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Evansville maintains the lead. It's 28-22 Aces. More to come on the other side of this break. It's the Valley.
On the play that he just did, he's going to take a couple dribbles to the middle, turn to the left shoulder so he can finish with the right hand. He's done that 3 times now. He was 1 for 2 from the field. He got fouled on that one. So the Braves have to, I'm sure that was in the scouting report, they have to try to force him to turn to the right shoulder and shoot with the left hand.
Hatkavicius at the line, gets the first. The 6'9 senior out of Lithuania. He's 60% free throw shooter.
Now, mind you, that's a little easier said than done when he's 6'9", 270 pounds. He throws his weight around a little bit, but you still have to force him to try to go to his secondary option.
Not easily convinced to go the way he doesn't want to go, I would imagine. Braves with it. And a foul that will go on Feehan. He's shaken up a bit on the play as well. And that's the first foul on Feehan.
Now in the ball game for the Aces, number 35, John Hall.
John Hall back in the game for Evansville. Hatkavicius goes to the bench with 6:33 to play in the first. Ball comes right to the basket, but through the hands of Childs. Picked up, though, by Cannell. Ball deflected into the backcourt. 9 to shoot for Bradley. Down to 5. Cannell will have to do something. Will let it go and got a good look. Somehow, some way, Cannell got a good look in the paint.
Both teams are really making tough shots with little seconds, with little time to go on the shot clock. It's almost like converting on 3rd down in football. It's really frustrating when you play 30 seconds of really good defense or 28 seconds of good defense and the other team scores with 2 seconds. So I like to see if that continues for both teams. If so, it can be really demoralizing for the defense.
Let's check in again with Joe Downs on the sidelines. Joe.
Well, Kyle, I managed to listen in down in the Evansville huddle, and the message from Coach McCarty is twofold. One is stay aggressive and play free, but the other side of it is when they see Bradley go into a 3-2 zone on defense, he does not want to see the ball hit the floor at all. He wants to see that ball flying around, no dribble, nothing. Attack, attack, attack. That's the word from Evansville right now. Guys.
All right. Thanks, Joe, very much. Evansville's defense, a good job there, forcing Bradley late into the shot clock.
Yeah, both teams are continuing to do that.
Feehan can't buy the three from the corner.
And piggybacking off of what Joe Downs just said, that's a great coaching adjustment by Coach McCarty. What we were talking about is the guards are sitting out there dribbling, waiting to set up, and they're not getting into the offense quick enough. If you pass into the offense, it's going to get everyone moving, and that way you can initiate your offense much quicker, and you have more time to execute your sets.
Here's Feehan. Bradley back to within three. And now it's Riley, and here Evansville's reloading again. Riley, that's a charge. Lowered the shoulder. Offensive foul. So it's back to Bradley with less than 5 to go.
And foul, number 35 for the Aces.
Brown right here with the ball's been really quiet. I'm sure the Braves would love for him to try to be a little bit more aggressive and get a rhythm going into halftime.
Interesting that Brown has yet to take off tonight. Had just 1 point in the loss to Missouri State. And here's a fadeaway from the baseline, air ball. Hall has it as Evansville starts to run. More on Brown in just a moment. Here's Feehan kicking out to Kuhlman, and now good job getting back by Bradley to settle in. More on Brown. That 1 point in their last outing, a loss, as Hill will end up with it for three. Bradley has it now. In the last 2 years, in games following single-digit performances, Brown has averaged 18.4 points per game in the next game out. And has yet to really get on pace tonight, that three offline. Here's Feehan underneath, and a foul on Bradley. Evansville maintains the lead. 29-26, Purple Aces. More to come from the Ford Center. It's the Valley on ESPN. With less than 4 minutes to go now in this first half of play tonight.
Coach McCarty putting Devin Straub in right now. A guy that only gets about 4.6 minutes a game, so wanting to see what he has up his sleeves with this one.
And there's the basket for John Hall inside. Had a tying of his career high in the last outing, a double-double, his fifth for the Aces in the last outing against UNI. Hall with a basket there. Bradley back to work. Here's a three, and it drops. Cannell with a basket. Cannell, another three for Bradley.
That was really good offense. That was really good offense. I'm gonna have to steal that set when I go back to coaching. They really got on the matchup zone. They got the guards up top, set a pick on the guard. So then there was no one to come up and step up on the shooter. Where normally that wing would come up, they occupied the wing down on the baseline. Really good set right there by the Braves.
Fadeaway shot for KJ Riley is good. Riley, one of the best for the Aces. 14.3 points per game. That is the tops on the team, and that's his first basket of the night. Ball on the deck, and they're going to get a reach-in foul here on the Aces, on the hometown kid Devin Straub, the Evansville native, the redshirt sophomore, picks up the foul. That's the fifth foul on the Aces, first on Straub.
If I'm a coach, I don't mind that foul. I've been watching since he came in the game. He's talking, he's pointing, he's bringing energy. He just got on the floor. He picked up a foul. But still, you like someone to come into the game and bring energy on the defensive end first to get yourself involved in offense.
Straub, a hustle foul there, going after it on the deck. Willing his way to the basket, cannot get the roll though. Was Ogunleye. Here's Riley the other way. Evansville trying to extend that 4-point margin. Here's Feehan for three. And back to work go the Braves. And a foul. Talk about Devin Straub and his limited time on the court as you take a look again here. But Straub, limited play, but had a big three-pointer for the Aces in their game against Missouri State. It was a big win. Straub checks out right now, though. Braves down by 4 with a basketball. Here's Cannell, had a big three a moment ago. And that will be an offensive foul.
Good defense there by K.J. Riley. Didn't go for the foot fake. Kept his hands up. Took the contact with the chest. Great call. Great defense by K.J. Riley.
In the game for the Braves, number 4.
Ogunleye picks up the foul. D'Lo, as he's called, will check out. That's his second foul, by the way. Here now, Evansville back to work. The lead is 4. Hall trying to add to it. Missed it. Feehan falls down on the play. Looking for the rebound. And here's an inside-out look. That's 3 for Lundy. And here come the Braves. They're within 1 with 90 seconds to go in the half.
The Aces should have the advantage right now. They have the size advantage. Bradley has 4 guards out there. You would think they would try to go inside, get the foul, take advantage of their size.
Here's Kuhlman. Now back to Feehan. 10 to shoot for Evansville. Riley from the foul line. Short. And a chance for Bradley to grab the lead. They work it inside, going up, missing the shot, but an offensive follow for Childs is good, and Bradley leads.
That's the thing about getting up and down in transition. There's usually mismatches, so even if you miss the first shot, a lot of times the guard had to be the first one back and had to match up against a big, and then the big can get the offensive rebound and go right back up. So I would really be surprised if the Braves don't continue to try to push the ball in transition, because that seems to have been their most effective way of scoring and really attacking the Aces defense.
8 to shoot. Riley to Kuhlman for 3. Kuhlman hits another 3-ball for the Aces. Shot clock is off. Evansville by 2. Bradley looks to have the final say of the first half. Lundy with 5 seconds. Now 3. Inside, missed it, and that's the end of the first half of play. Evansville, your leader, 36-34 over Bradley. Lots to come at halftime. Hang around with us. More to come on the Valley on ESPN.
Perimeter is where he feels his team is losing the game. As for Coach Wardle, kind of funny, he was actually happy that the pace of the game and the way things were going, but he too was not happy with the team's perimeter defense. He said that they need to tighten things up on the perimeter, but he also likes the way they're playing on offense. He thinks this is going to be a fast-paced game all the way down the stretch, guys.
Thanks, Joe. Too many threes in this darn game, huh?
Hey, they're exactly right. I think both teams are happy with their offensive production. And, of course, as a coach, you're going to be more critical. You want to get more stops. But both teams are playing really well on offense and getting the shots they want and knocking down threes.
Offensive foul. Shea Feehan holding his ground there. And Lundy picks up the foul.
We did have the graphic early at the beginning of the game talking about how the Aces had been holding people to about 19% from 3, and lately it's been around 44. Exactly right. The Braves have been shooting around 44%. So, of course, Coach McCarty is not happy with the fact that a team like the Braves, who came in shooting 33% from the three-point line, are up at 44, 45%. So that doesn't surprise me for what both coaches said. Let's see what adjustments they made at halftime to correct those problems.
3 losses when teams have shot that well in back-to-back games. And wasn't that ball deflected? That's what Shea Feehan asks. The guys in stripes say no. And partner, let's check back in with your keys to start this game, see where we're stacking up.
Yeah, I think Bradley did a good job of limiting them to second chance points. They were giving up about 10 offensive rebounds a game, only gave up 3, so only gave up 5 second chance points. And the third party scoring, Kendall stepped up. Brown, who we thought would probably respond well after only having 1, did not really score well in the first half, so good for Kendall to come out and do that. Started up really quickly. The Aces did that by getting off and shooting 48% from the field and then making in transition. I thought that they did a good job on offense of doing that, but on defense they allowed the Braves too many points in transition. Not necessarily just straight fast breaks, but
the hand on the back. Is there a shove there? And the officials determine there was, and it's a flagrant foul on the Aces' Shea Feehan. That brings the Ford Center crowd to life as Lundy goes to the free throw line.
I thought that was definitely a foul. I'm not sure if it was a flagrant, but hey, that's what the Zebras out there for, to call the game. So got to respect the call.
Lundy goes 1 of 2 at the line. And we'll resume play with Bradley in possession of the basketball within 1. Trying to get Brown on track. Cannot get that one. Scramble for it. Bradley's going to get it again and then throw it away. Here's Hill. That's Kuhlman. Another 3 for Evan Kuhlman.
That's the shots that he wants. When he gets his feet set and has a second to get it off, he's a really good shooter. And again, the Aces are much better. Both these teams are much better when they push the ball to the court and create shots for others and get assists in transition.
Evansville's lead is 4. Here's Brown again. Fade away. Got it to go. And maybe that will get him going.
It's a tough shot. You know, he's struggling, and we can say he's struggling, but again, I think you give a lot of credit to KJ Riley. He's done a really good job on many guards this year because he's 6'7", and he uses his length to make guards shoot shots like that. If you're going to make a guy score, if a guy's going to score, you want him to shoot fadeaway shots, twos, overhands like KJ Riley's doing. I think Coach McCarty's content with that defense right there.
Well, and not to be outdone, KJ Riley, the leading scorer for this Evansville squad, also struggling. Now he may get on track. Walked into that one, just his second basket of the game.
Well, he usually creates a lot of contact and gets most of his points at the free throw line. Hasn't been able to do that today, but he puts a lot of pressure on the refs to always be ready to make that call.
Here's a foul on the Aces. Riley not yet to shoot a free throw in this game. Comes in as one of the tops in the country in free throw attempts. Second in the country at 169 attempts. 12th in makes at 125.
That's an impressive number right there.
Somebody knows how to shoot the free throw. Brown missed that one. Knows how to get to the line as well. And here comes Riley the other way. Kuhlman. Evansville down to 12 to shoot. Evan Kuhlman fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Looks like Von Bray on the foul. First foul on Von Bray, and Kuhlman heads to the free throw line for the Aces. Doesn't shoot as many as Riley, but from the field have been three-point shots.
The team is fourth.
Evansville with the ball and a three-point advantage. We greet you from the Ford Center here in Evansville. Glad to have you alongside. Fredericking. Now to Kuhlman. He looks it in for the big man, Danius Hetkevicius, going to work in the low block. That's an offensive foul. They caught him with the elbow.
Well, that goes back to what we talked about in the first half. They did a good job of making him trying to go to his right shoulder. He's not as effective when he goes to his right shoulder. So he was trying to go with the up and under, and boom. I'm not sure if that was a foul, but he's not as comfortable making that move as he is when he just turns to his left shoulder with the right jump hook.
Bradley trying to take advantage. Inside, and a foul. We'll put Barr at the line. Koch Barr, the 6'11 junior out of South Sudan, will head to the charity stripe.
Shooting for the Braves.
A chance to make it a one-point game if he can get both to drop. First is good.
Now in the ball game.
You know, I was looking on Twitter. There was a thing about coming into this game. The great the shortening of the teams is Brad versus Evans. Bradley-Evansville. And they were talking about the teams, and I recalled when I played for the Aces against Bradley. And one of the best players that I played against in college basketball, not just in MVC, was a guy by the name of Anthony Parker, brother of Candace Parker, NBA star. That kid, he was by far the best player I played against in the Missouri Valley Conference. Had a really good NBA career, but Bradley has had some really good players over the year. And one thing they've always been known for is their toughness. They've always been tough. They always play good, strong defense. And what Coach Rodale's doing right now is nothing different.
Bradley doing a good job right now being tough with a tough guy inside, and Hetkevicius denied him really to have a look at the basket that time after forcing an offensive foul the time before that, and then a foul will put Ogunleye at the line.
Again, when you can get out in transition and you don't allow the Aces defense to set up, Hetkevicius was guarding his man. Someone just didn't have Ogunleye. And so he came to the basket. Hetkevicius had to step over and not give up the easy layup and force him to go to the free throw line. But that's what the Braves have to do. They have to continue doing that and creating their offense in transition.
The free throws tie it up 46-all. Bradley's on a 6-0 run. Again, Evansville wants to run through Hetkevicius at the low block. He turns, he shoots, he missed. 3 straight times the Aces have gone to the big man inside. 3 straight times they've come up empty. Now Brown trying to give his team the lead, misses. Long down court pass. Hall comes back out with it. The 3 from the corner won't go for Newton. And Evansville's not scored in over 2 minutes. This for the lead is good from three-point range. Ogunleye with the three-point shot.
That was good ball movement on both ends. The Aces got a good shot on this end by moving the ball with 4 really good passes till they got the open shot. Braves did it on a skip pass right there because they had the mismatch inside, got the wide open 3. Both of these teams are playing really good offensive basketball.
On a run. Bradley does it again. D-Lo. 2 straight threes. Bradley leads this one now by 6
shots, and you see their energy going into the timeout, into that break right there. They're high-fiving each other. They're lifting each other up. It must feel good after you only scored 37 points last game to be shooting 53% from 3 right now and having the 6-point lead on the road.
LAUTIER-OGUNLEYE with a pair of big threes and big defense inside for Bradley. Evansville went inside to Danius Hetkevicius, their big-bodied player, at the block 3 consecutive times, and they came up empty. Part of that run where Evansville's not been able to score. Ball was kicked. Shot clock for the Aces resets to 12 seconds, and there's 12:01 left to go here in the contest. Actually, they'll put the shot clock down. It resets to 20 seconds. Aces need a basket. Feehan had it knocked out of his hands. And we have reached another stoppage of play. Just like that. Bradley on a run. Braves lead it here in Evansville. All right, thanks, Joe. Good job. Coach Wardle's used to being down at half. His team has come from behind to win when trailing at the half more times than any other team in the Valley, looking for their 5th such win tonight. They now lead this one by 6. Evansville has not scored in over 3 minutes of play. Shot clock's at 4. Riley takes off, is fouled, gets it to go. 1 to come.
Basket is good. Foul number 10 for the Braves. That's a nice shot. Second.
It's a big move right there by KJ Riley. They definitely needed a basket coming out of the break. I thought they were going to go to Riley or Hall because both of those guys really need to get going. Riley just waved Hall off. They had a pick and roll set up. Riley waved him off and said, "I got this." Went to the basket, looking to convert the 3-point play right here. Missed the free throw.
Doesn't miss many, and that's his only free throw attempt in this game. KJ Riley, 2nd in the country coming in free throw attempts. The drought continues, but a chance for the Aces thanks to the defense. Kuhlman, blocked shot. Ill-advised, ran right in for the big body of Barr. Second chance, Feehan shaken up, missed the 3, scramble ensues. Bradley has it as they head the other way.
Thought that might have been a foul on the shot there on the way down, hitting Feehan in the mouth, but no call.
Stepped inside the arc line. And Childs, haven't called his name much here in the second half. Open look at the basket for Barr. And what do we have? I think they're going to go back and look at that play in which Feehan already seems satisfied. Shea Feehan says he hit me in the mouth. Evansville will have the basketball. No flagrant assessed. Bradley leads this one by 6, and through it all, Evansville has fallen behind here after leading most of the way, albeit not by much. Shot clock at 14. Foul here, and getting the roll is Marty Hill.
It's a really good one-on-one move right there by Marty Hill. Someone for the Aces is going to have to step up and score some points. Evan Kuhlman is leading them right now with 12. You would think that Hill or KJ Riley or John Hall would start to pick it up here on offense. But if that's how they're going to do it, they're going to struggle because you can't just rely on one man just dribble. They don't have a James Harden on their team where they can just dribble and create one-on-one the whole game. The Aces are going to have to score in transition, keep moving the ball, and get good shots and spread the wealth. Like Coach McCarty said, everyone's a threat.
Hill gets the and one opportunity, cuts the Bradley lead to 3. And the shot clock down to 12 for the Braves. Here is Brown looking to get on track. In trouble with 5 to shoot. Got free and got the pass into Childs, who lays it in.
That was a heck of a pass there by Brown. Looked like he was in big trouble and found a guy cutting to the basket.
Well, you said somebody needs to step up for Evansville. Marty Hill's got 6 straight.
Well, there you go right there. Again, both Evansville needs to get more shots like that. They pushed the ball up court right down Bradley's throat and got an easy basket.
And that is a blocked shot by Riley, sending Brown's shot out of here.
He's really been giving Brown trouble the whole night. I mean, he's 6'7", he's long, and Brown, he's made a couple good passes down here in the half-court set, but it's really hard for him to get his shots off over such length.
Second chance opportunity and another Evansville block, this by Kuhlman. Evansville could tie or take the lead back with a basket here. Hall beyond the arc line finds Hill. Riley, and we've got a foul off the ball, and that's going to go against Brown of Bradley. And Evansville will now go to the free throw line. That's the 7th team foul on the Braves. So the Aces in the 1-on-1.
Bradley's been doing a really good job of playing defense without fouling. When you play against the Aces, you have to try to play defense without fouling, especially here at home, and especially in particular, KJ Riley. And the fact that they've only given the Aces 7 free throws up to this point is part of the reason why they have this lead right now. But 9 minutes down the stretch, you're already in the 1-and-1. I think that may play a factor here going down the stretch.
Riley, a 74% free throw shooter, hits the first. Here's a look at the foul. Watch the little bump there by Brown. Not much there. But Riley, who makes his living at the free throw line, gets 2, makes them both, and we are tied at 56 all. Approaching 9 minutes left in the game. Von Bray back on the court for Bradley as Barr checks out. And the Braves a chance to grab the lead back. Brown one-on-one against Feehan. Stops in the paint, puts up the shot, air ball. Rebound though, and the putback is good for Childs. Bradley back in front. Two teams desperate for a win in Missouri Valley Conference play. Could really be a turning point for either of these two teams who've struggled as of late. Bradley has won 2 of their last 3, but that streak ended in a disappointing effort at Missouri State. And Riley stripped of the ball on the way up, a turnover, and the Braves get it right back. Ogunleye with the steal. Childs, who had 2 a moment ago, gets 2 more inside over Kuhlman.
Like you said, Kyle, this game is big for both teams. I don't think right now, with both teams being in last and second last place, I don't think that either team has a chance to probably win the conference, but you do not want to play that first game in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, right? You want to give yourself an opportunity to miss that first game, but if you have to play all those games in that first playing game, it really becomes hard to win the conference tournament.
Kuhlman drives, forces contact, and he'll have a couple of free throws on the other side of this break. Bradley, your lead. Locker room with the lead, but a big drought and a big run by Bradley put them back in front. They lead it here by 4 as Evan Kuhlman will walk to the free throw line. Kuhlman 12 points tonight. A 93% free throw shooter, just missed that one. On target with the second. Pulls the Aces to within 3. When we talk about not wanting to play on the opening night of Missouri Valley Tournament, you got to be up in the standings, and neither of these teams there right now.
Yeah, that's why this is such an important game for both teams. You know, Loyola Chicago has 2 losses. You have the teams at the top with only 2 or 3. It's going to be hard for them to make up 3-4 games to have an aspiration to win the conference championship. But what you really want to do, having played in the MVC tournament like I have, you don't want to play that first night. It just gives you that extra night, that extra game. If you do get hot, it's hard to sustain that momentum, and it's hard, and you start losing legs, especially if you don't have a deep bench. And so you really want to try to skip that first night. I think the team that loses tonight really is going to make it hard on themselves to avoid that first night.
The other thing that kind of stands out as you looked at those standings, the parity in the league. Nobody's really running away with this thing.
Yeah, it's been a really closely contested MVC season this year. You know, Loyola was preseason #1, but then, you know, you have teams like Drake in there, and then Southern hasn't played as well as I'm sure they expected. So you got Loyola, who's won a game by 35 and lost a game by 35. So it's just such parity, like you said, such parity in the league. You never know what's going to happen each night.
Marty Hill with a basket there. Pulls the Aces to within 2. 7 minutes to go. Hill now in double figures with 10 after that basket. Childs, who has really gone off in the second half, can't get the roll that time. Prior to that shot, Childs was 4 of his last 5 shots.
That kid has a bright future. He was all freshman team last year. He was the MVP. He was the MVP of the Cancun Classic. He's only a sophomore. You know, he and John Hall are two of the really young, bright stars in the Missouri Valley Conference.
There you see the update from the games around the Valley. UNI and Loyola tightening up, getting in the last part of that game. Drake and Illinois State underway in Des Moines. The real competition between Des Moines and Chicago, the two host cities, also playing tonight. Which place was colder today? Polar vortex, isn't that? That's the term. I don't care what you call it. I call it cold.
It has been amazingly cold. It's cold here in this gym, which for a lot of shooters, that may disrupt you a little bit because your hands are cold, and when your hands are cold, you don't get a good feel on the ball. But as we see, both teams have been shooting very well from 3, so it seems to not have bothered them.
Way to bring the weather in the gym, partner. I appreciate that. Evansville needs a basket to tie. A 3 could give them the lead. Here's Riley. Now Kuhlman missed it, fell down. Bradley gets the board. Inside, Childs again scores. He's gone off here in the second half of play.
You know, Bradley has 2 guys right now with the double-double. That gives Elijah Childs 10 rebounds, so he's 16 and 10. Ogunleye has 15 points and 10 rebounds.
That 3 from Riley won't go. And another finish inside for Von Bray, and Bradley's extended the lead to 6. Here come the Braves again.
I think you mentioned it earlier, the Braves lead the Valley in games 1 after trailing at the break. In last game, the Aces were up against Northern Iowa, got off to a decent start in the second half, and then Northern Iowa finished the game on a 50-33 run. So the Aces have to do a better job of finishing, but they're playing against a team and a program right now that does a really good job of finishing. So they have an uphill battle right here.
Evansville has had some issues closing. They've been in a lot of games that they have lost. Brown just dribbled until he got free and scores.
That's the Steve Nash right there. Steve Nash was the master at that. He'd penetrate and then keep his dribble. People would lose the ball, and he would either pop out for a 3 or find the assist.
Evansville finds themselves down 6 again. 4.5 to go. Riley missed it. And a chance for the Braves to extend the lead.
I think one of the reasons that the Aces struggle down the stretch sometimes is they don't necessarily have a go-to guy. But then you have guys that they really want to win. And sometimes they take it in their own hands. For example, right there, that's not the shot that KJ Riley generally is strong at. But he's trying to make something happen for his team. And sometimes when you try too hard, you end up shooting shots that aren't always the best shot for the team.
That one goes out of bounds off of Evansville. It will be Bradley basketball. The Aces could not come away with a takeaway on the defensive end. Walter McCarty going to go to the bench. 4 new faces coming into the game for the Purple Aces.
Number 3, Jawan Newton. Number 30, Noah Frederking. And number
So almost a wholesale change. The only player that stayed on the court for Evansville was Shea Feehan. Ford Center crowd thought it should be Evansville ball. And now, stepping out of bounds, the Braves give it right back.
Timeout on the floor.
Well, nobody's run away with this thing yet. That means settle in. We're going to have a good of the run that puts them up 6. Exactly 4 minutes remaining in the ball game.
You know, we talked about the keys of the game. We talked about the third-party score. We thought that Brown would have a good game, but it's really been Childs. It's been Ogunleye, and it was Nate Kennel who really got him off to a good start in the first half. So you got 3 guys right there who really been scoring well. Great move right there by the Aces. Good basket coming out of the timeout. Coach McCarty, like I said, he's really good at after timeouts. They call them ATOs. No surprise, coaching under Brad Stevens, who's one of the best.
It was Shamar Givens who came off the bench to score. And then Brown now with an answer for Bradley right back to that 6-point advantage. Right before the break, Walter McCarty put 4 new guys in the game. They're out there now. The only one that stayed was Shea Feehan. We'll see if he finds the right combination. Feehan can't get the 3. Givens couldn't come up with it. Bradley has it. Up by 6. Big shot here for 3 is good for Ogunleye again from long range.
He's been playing extremely well today. 4 for 5 from 3. Didn't really come into the game known as a 3-point shooter. You know, he came into the game shooting 32% from 3, only 34 threes taken, 11 made on the year. And here he is, lighting it up from 3 for the Braves.
Ogunleye with the foul the other way will put Shamar Givens, or rather that's Newton, to the free throw line. A 77% free throw shooter is Newton. And the free throw is good. It was Ogunleye the other way with a huge 3-point shot.
Again, this is what I call transition. This is not necessarily a fast break, but it has Evansville shuffling. They're looking for their mismatches, and they're looking for their matchups, and Bradley's doing a good job of continuing moving the ball, finding the open man, and you got guys like Kendall and Ogunleye knocking down those shots.
Free throws are going to be big down the stretch for Evansville, 9 of 13, but a miss there by Newton. It's an 8-point Bradley lead, 2.5 minutes to go. Brown, spin around, can't get it. Offensive rebound, and the putback is good from Barr inside. And this is the largest Bradley lead of the night. It's 10. And another foul on the Braves, and Coach Wardle kind of beside himself, seeing his team extend the lead, but then put the Aces at the foul line and a chance to score with the clock stop.
And not only, it's not even just one-on-one, it's the double bonus right now. And you foul one of the best free throw shooters. That's not what you want to do, but not focus on the negative. The Braves have played an excellent second half. They're moving the ball. They stayed focused. You got to give credit to a guy like Brown, who comes in and leads the score. He didn't pout. He didn't pout and start saying, trying to force his own shot. He kept moving the ball, kept giving energy to his teammates, and they've really played an excellent second half.
Well, now we're going to go to the monitor and take a look at this one again. They are just only confirming who the free throw shooter should be. That's all that was. And we are ready to go, I think. Well, they had put Feehan at the line, but instead, after going to the monitor, they get it right and put Hatkavicius at the strike. Feehan, an 85% shooter. Hatkavicius, a 59.5% shooter. And a miss. 2 straight misses at the free throw line for the Aces. Down by 10 with 2:10 to go.
If you're Evansville, you start wondering, when do you start fouling here? Do you start picking up full court right now and you have to turn the ball over right now. You have to get them to turn the ball over. I'm not sure if falling back right now. You got to try to put some pressure on the ball and get a chance to get the ball back.
Timeout here taken by Bradley. The Braves, as they have done so many times this season, have owned the second half here tonight.
Only the shot that you want. You hope that Evansville starts to foul. You're in the bonus. So if I'm Evansville, I'm probably trying to get a stop here, and then after this possession, I'm looking to foul.
And for Evansville, they got to get points and get them quickly, which means they need the basketball. Shot clock at 17. And here is a foul on the Aces. He goes on Riley.
That's one of those things where I was just about to say that when they fouled us. You either foul right when you throw the ball in, or you play the possession out and give it back. You don't just they fouled with 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. So if you're going to make that foul, you do it right away.
Von Bray at the line hits the first to earn the second in the 11-point Bradley lead. Von Bray. Von Bray got both. Bradley by 12. Evansville running out of time. 3 no good there from Marty Hill. Offensive rebound. Riley tried to do a little too much there underneath, and then a foul. Newton on the foul. A freshman commits the foul, and Von Bray will go back to the charity stripe.
You know, if you're Evansville, you probably want to foul Childs or Kennel right now. They're both 65% free throw shooters. Everyone else is 70% and up on the court. So this is where you got to know the scouting report and know who you want to foul right there. You probably want to let Van Bree get the ball out of his hands, get it to Kennel, and go for the foul where you play on your percentages.
And Von Bray gets both. 78-64 Bradley. And tonight the Braves likely will go over 80 points on a night ago in their last outing. On Saturday against Missouri State, they put up 37.
Wow. Wow. I think that's offense. That's good coaching. And that's guys knocking down shots. And then again, I think Coach McCarty is going to be a little bit disappointed with his defensive effort, knowing how Bradley traditionally struggles on offense. So to come in here and hang up 80-plus points possibly with here a minute and a half to go, there's going to be some tough film sessions here over the next couple of days for the Aces.
And the free throws have gone by the wayside here for the Aces here in the second half. A final now in Valley play. Loyola comes from behind to knock off UNI by 1.
It's a big win for them. You know, it keeps them in first place regardless of what happens between that Illinois State and Drake game. Big win for them to come back at home and get that win.
A foul here.
Foul is number 5, Shamar Gibbons.
As Gibbons commits the foul.
Team's 10.
And free throws coming here for Brown. Not his best of nights, but better than the last time out. There was just 1 point in the loss against Missouri State.
Well, one thing I tell point guards is you're judged on wins and losses, not points. So even though he didn't have his best night shooting from the field, as a point guard, he kept his team composed. They got good shots in the second half, and point guards are judged on wins and losses. So overall, this is a good game for this young man.
He's got 9. That's the leading scorer of the Bradley Braves. Noah Frederick King for 3. No good. Givens now threw it away. Here is Brown. The lay-in. And that may close the door if it wasn't closed already.
Yeah, I think they just locked the door on that one. Down up 16 points right now. You know, if someone watches this final score, it may look like Bradley dominated this game. And as we know, that wasn't the case. But this lead has just ballooned here in the last couple of minutes.
Now, what a run to close the game by Bradley. 52 seconds to go.
Yeah,
ball is loose. Here's Riley. He gets 2 more. And this is the first time all year in Valley play that Bradley's allowed an opponent to score 70. But it looks like it's going to come in a win.
Hey, you'll take the wins however they come if you're Bradley. We're just looking at the stat sheet. Bradley was up 60 of the year, the offensive worst game of the year. And to come back and respond, that's what it's about, is how can you respond when you faced failure. And they did a really good job of responding tonight. It looks like they're going to get this win.
81-70, Bradley your leader. This one is thrown up in the air to the other end of the floor, and it works out for Bradley. The Braves have it. Evansville not going to foul. They do get the takeaway. Here's Riley for three. Another Bradley rebound, held ball, and the arrow gives it to Evansville. 27 seconds left. Riley will inlet.
This is where Evansville needs Reggie Miller.
Here's a three from Newton. Maybe his name is Newton. Here's your updated standings if this holds. Bradley and Evansville now evened up at 3 and 6. 22 seconds to go. And an 8-point Bradley lead. Brown trying to escape. Gets rid of the ball, now gets it back. Shot clock is off, and Bradley's going to be content. Well, they're content to dribble it out. Evansville's going to be content to let him do so. And for only the third time this season, but for the second time in 3 games, Bradley has gone over 80 points and gotten a win. They've now won 3 of their last 4 in Missouri Valley play.
Well, when you start off 0-5 and you're able to turn it around and win 3 out of your last 4, obviously last